Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Young men, I like the idea of restoring an aspirational vision of masculinity that can serve as a code. And I don't think there's anything wrong with leaning into your femininity or your masculinity if it feels natural. And for me, masculinity is, and I'm open to criticism here, this is a tough one that triggers a lot of people, but I think the three pillars are provider. I think every man at the outset of his career should assume that he needs to take economic responsibility for his household. And by the way, sometimes,
or at least for himself.
and sometimes that means getting out of the way of your partner who happens to be better at that money thing and taking up the slack in other parts of the household. But
not being mad about it.
And be supportive.
Yeah.
My partner, when we had kids, was working at Goldman, making more money than me, so I tried to step up. That's also being a man. Two, and this triggers people, being a procreator. I think wanting to mate, that fire of desire, can be channeled, if it's channeled in the right ways, to making you a better man, making you kinder, making you stronger. For God's sakes, thinking about how you dress, showering for God's sakes. Being persistent, initiating contact. The scariest stat I have read is that 51% of men age 18 to 24 have never asked a woman out in person. And surveys show, distinct to what the media tells you, the majority of women still want men to initiate romantic contact while making them feel safe. Third pillar, you're a protector, right? Your default operating system is you protect. If you think about the most masculine jobs, cop, fireman, military, what do they do at the end of the day? They protect. Your default should always be protection, right? It breaks my heart. And then in New York, if you talk to women, a lot of them say they don't feel safe on the subway. Or if they see men walking down the street that cross the sidewalk. From an early age, we gotta teach our boys that the transition to manhood means your default operating system is protection. And it's not just physical. It's if you hear people criticizing others behind their back, your default is to weigh in and defend. You may not agree with the transgender community. You may not agree that corporations need to have a third bathroom. You may not believe in gender affirmation. But when you see a group being demonized, your default setting as a man is you move to protection. We are providers, we're protectors, and we're procreators. There is nothing wrong with masculinity. It is a wonderful guidepost. Lean in. We just need to redefine what it means to be a man. You add surplus value. You create more tax revenue than you absorb. You protect people. You witness their lives. You register more complaints than you actually complain. And if you leave this earth having given more than you've taken, then you leave this world as a man. That is what it means to be a man.
All right. Hey, what's going on, family? It's Tyler for No Picks Podcast. So I saw this clip from The View on TikTok. I thought it was interesting. I really wanted to react to it. So a couple of things, right? I disagree with a few things that he said, right? Some things that he said make sense, but I disagree with a few things. The first thing is, he said there's nothing wrong with masculinity. There is something wrong with masculinity. There's a lot wrong with masculinity in society today. Unfortunately, masculine traits, traditional masculine traits are demonized, right? So much so that, there are plenty of women out here today that will rather be with a bear in the woods than a man that they don't know. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. A bear will rip your face off, eat you, no problem at all, with a smile on his goddamn face. But you would rather that than be with a man, or a straight straight man that you don't know. But if it's a trans man or a gay man, you cool with it. So so I disagree. That part I disagree with. So the three things that he said, the three pillars. He said the three pillars. Well, first of all, he said we should restructure how masculinity is. I'm not sure what he means by that exactly, but he said it should be based off three pillars. The first thing he said was provider, right? You should provide more resources than you absorb, which is fair. I think most men would agree that that's the case, right? Providing for your family. But also we got to talk about, and that's the traditional male thing to do, right? But we don't live in those times anymore. So I understand what he's saying as far as providing for your family, but I don't agree that it should be like it was in the past, right? So there has to be some kind of, unfortunately, there has to be some kind of hybrid of the two ways of thinking, like the modern, hey, we got to do it together, and the traditional past of, hey, the man just does it himself and provides, because that's just not the time that we live in anymore. And That's just what it is. The other thing you talked about, protector. Yeah, obviously a man has to be a protector, but I think a man has to be a protector for the people in his circle, like his family, his friends, his stuff like that. I disagree that men should just be protecting everybody. Like I don't think so, because at the end of the day, if I'm on a train and there's some I don't know, some random person doing something to, let's say, another man or a woman, right? I jump in there. One thing leads to one thing leads to another, and I lose my life. What's going to happen to my family? So my family is left out of a father because I wanted to protect somebody that I don't know, right? And it's not even guaranteed that it'll be appreciated, right? Like the dude Daniel Penny that protected the women on the train from the mentally unwell homeless dude that was threatening people on the train. He choked the guy out, ended up being a whole news story. The dude died, and he was chastised for it. He had to go to court. He had to lawyer up. The people who he actually saved were saying like, "Hey, this dude did a great job. I appreciate it." But the rest of the world hated him. They thought he was racist. They thought he only did it because he was black. He would X, Y, and Z. Who the hell wants to go through that? So I protect somebody, and I got to lawyer up and spend my money. Are y'all gonna help me with this goddamn lawyer money? No, I don't think you should just be protecting random people. Like I'm sorry, bro. Like if that makes me less of a man, then okay, it is what it is. Like I want to see my kids grow up to adulthood. I don't want to protect somebody because the dude Daniel Penny ended up being in a financial tough spot, right? He ended up not going to jail, which is a great thing, but less like the women that he protected just went on about their fucking life. They went on about their day. Right. So they probably posted something on Instagram or something like that. And they went on to work. They went on to go get their back blown out by their boyfriend. They wasn't worrying about him no more. So me as a masculine man, I'm supposed to be willing to crash out for someone I don't even know when I got family. I'm not doing that. And the procreator, I think is self-explanatory, right? Yeah, of course we procreate. We want to have sex. We have babies, right? Myself, I'm a father of 3. So but yeah, so another thing he mentioned was that women want men to still approach them, right? He said women want men to approach them while feeling safe doing it. And it's to me it's funny because to me I think that's funny because with all right, so with one, like women are fickle when it comes to this, because if I say something and I approach a woman and I try to show my little charming personality or whatever, and I try to get her number or whatever, that'll be perceived differently than someone that she's unattracted to. Like a unattractive dude comes to her, then he's creepy. So it entirely depends on the woman's attractiveness to the guy or the guy's level of attractiveness. So because there's been like videos about this, like dudes go to a certain woman, say the same thing, and the woman will call the dude creepy and call the one dude creepy and the other guy awesome, and they said the same thing. So I mean, I don't know, I don't know, man. And I think it's also funny how Bumble, the dating app, they were getting some flack. I don't know, I think it was about a year ago or something like that, because Bumble is, I think, the dating app where if a guy shows interest in a woman, the woman has to initiate contact first. And women felt like they started complaining to Bumble because they were like, it's too much pressure to be the first one to make a move. And I'm like, okay, like we in a different era now. Like y'all independent, y'all strong, y'all don't need X, Y, and Z. Let's start showing some of that independence, some of this equality over here. Like y'all gotta make the first move. Unfortunately, that's what it is. A lot of dudes don't feel comfortable making a move because they might be perceived as creepy or whatever the case is. If you're not attracted to him, then he's creepy. So but I guess that my overall point is, out of everything that he said, it's always the man giving, the man having to just take the burden, put the weight of the world on his shoulders, right? And my thing is to retort that is, okay, cool. Let's accept that premise. All right. What the fuck does the man get? What does the man get for sacrificing his life potentially for a stranger? Dying early to provide for whomever, right? And because this dude's idea is to be like the sole provider, right? Like, okay, well, or the majority provider. So you're working harder, you're working more hours, you're away from your family more, but it's cool because you're a man and you should want to do that. Okay, cool. Let's take that premise. But what does the guy get? Like every time I hear this argument or hear this conversation, it's always in terms of the man giving everything, even including his life, right? But what the fuck do we get in return? We know what kids get. We know what women get. What the fuck do men get? It seems like it's like, yo, the man should just get satisfaction with knowing that he did these things. So we should get nothing, and we should be content with the fact that we get nothing because we're men and we don't need nothing. But we should give everything. I am not on board with that. I'm not on board with that, especially if it's not even going to be like appreciated. We don't even get appreciation. You see these videos on TikTok all the time where women say a dude paying 100% of the bills is the bare minimum. So basically, you break your back, you work 70-hour weeks to come home so she can still work and keep her money, right? Because that's really the wave. Still work and keep her money, and at the end of the day, she's like, "Nigga, this is the least you can do." It's not even you don't even get appreciation. I go on the subway, I see some woman getting assaulted, I jump in, one thing leads to another, I lose my life. This woman goes on about her life. She's not worried about me. She's not giving money to my kids. What do we get? I guess like that's my question. I wish I could have a conversation with this dude. Maybe if I get big enough in the podcast where I can talk to this dude or anybody. What the fuck do men get for running in front of the machine gun? What the fuck do we get? Not even appreciation, because a lot of people look at it like, nigga, this the bare minimum. This the least you can do. So why would we do it? That's like working overtime and not getting paid for overtime. It's like, all right, nigga, I'm just gonna leave on time. Like, why would I do it? I don't know. I just wish I could hear the argument like, okay, cool, you do all these things, you do that, but what do the man get? What does the man get? Someone explain this shit to me, because I'm confused. Like, this does not sound like a fair deal. This doesn't sound like a so your satisfaction of doing this stuff is just because you're a man. I'm a man. Like, ain't that toxic masculinity? Fuck, like, I want to live in my soft guy era too. Fuck, like, maybe I could extend my life expectancy for like 10, 20 years. Like, why not? Just, what do we get, bro? I don't know. That's why this is bothering me. It's like, the idea is just give indefinitely until you die. And that's it. And be happy going to your death and being like, oh, I gave everything I had, guys. All right, goodbye. Look, why? Nah, I don't know. It don't sound good to me. I'm sorry. Let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time.